Taking advice from people 1,000 steps ahead of you will get you lost. Look for people 10 steps ahead of you with similar resources and similar conditions. Then you won't get lost. There's this thing called the curse of expertise. It says that as you or as somebody becomes more of an expert in a certain field, they lose touch and they relate less to beginners. And therefore, it's not really the best idea to have an expert teach an absolute beginner or somebody that's just starting. Why? Because they can't relate. The expert is so far ahead that what he has learned or what they have learned is not very useful to somebody that's just starting. This is where I come in. I'm no expert. I'm still learning as I go along. My first video was on the 22nd of October, and it was so-so, but it was also the first time that I shot a video by myself that I knew I had to do like 100 takes to get 3 minutes out of it, to edit, to frame, everything. That was my first time. So I'm still learning. That's why I think I can be the perfect person to bring the message to small YouTubers about the small or invisible or unexpected obstacles and problems that you're gonna face when starting a YouTube channel. And these are all because I faced them. I and some people I asked, which I'm gonna get into next. But people with 1 million subscribers or 2 million or 10 million subscribers probably don't remember what it was like when they had 10 subscribers or 50 subscribers or 100 subscribers. And I do. I've been there. That was me yesterday. So trust me, listen to me, stay until the end because you really don't want to miss any of this. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Emiliano. I'm by no means a YouTube expert, as I've said before. I think this makes me the perfect teacher though. However, I wasn't really willing to address this huge area by myself. So I called 3 different small content creators that are all my friends to see what they had to say and what they had experienced issues with. Their channels are going to be linked in the description, so do check them out. It's them. 2 of them have made a small appearance in one of my videos, so you can go check that out here too. But yeah, go check them out, go give them some love, and yeah, let's get right to it. There's 2 areas. There's before you start and once you've already started. Let's focus first on the before you start area. The most difficult thing you can do is start. These problems that I'm going to address are things that we tell ourselves so we don't start. It's kind of an excuse or a way to convince ourselves that we're not ready to start. My first advice or our first tip is just start, but more on that later. So the first problem that I faced and that Yasmin faced was picking a niche. She said that she didn't really know what she wanted to do, and actually her first video was in English and now her last videos have been in Turkish and she's doing really well. Really well. But yeah, what do we do about wanting to pick a niche? My advice would be that you don't need a niche, and you don't need a niche in your first video, and you don't need a niche in your 52nd video or video 100. You don't really need a niche. Niches can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. On one hand, they can be a blessing because if you pick your niche well and it's a really small niche with a small but captive audience, you're gonna have an audience like this. But those are really far and few in between. And the curse of a niche is that once you've started down the path of choosing a niche, you're kind of stuck there. Say if I've kind of chosen a niche already, or I'm kind of narrowing down on one, and if I just did like a home maintenance video or like me painting something, I would be totally out of character from my channel. Same with Sergio. If he did a video on like cooking when all of his videos are on movies and cinema and things around the film world, that would be quite weird. So again, a blessing and a curse. My advice would be honestly just do what you like and a niche will come, or it won't. If you take my channel for example, it's starting to deviate a bit from the IB since I've already milked most of it, and it's gonna start going into university, medical school, my gap year, etc. And that's fine because those are all things I like, but a niche isn't necessary to be good at YouTube. The second problem is along the lines of imposter syndrome. Their channel, Ragazze Qualsiasi, one of the girls told me that they had an issue with getting original content or having an original message or thinking that they weren't original. And funnily enough, I had just watched this talk by David Perel and Ali Abdal, and what they say is that there's no such thing as an original message, only original messengers, and that if you frame what you want to say through your lens of how you see the world, through your life experience, through what you know, what books you've read, what podcasts you've listened to, etc., and you repurpose it and reframe it, it becomes your own because you're inflicting your own ideas and your own worldview into it. And they have quotes like, originality is just undetected plagiarism, which I loved. Or another one that I loved was, the extent of our originality comes from the obscurity of our sources. So basically, again, there is no such thing as originality. You're just a messenger, so to speak. You're conveying the message. You don't have to be the source of the message. So don't be afraid to not be original. If you reframe it through your own life experience, you're fine, and that is your original content. So something I faced, and I grappled with this for a few weeks actually, was that I knew I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I knew I didn't have a camera or a computer or anything like that. So I was like, I can't do it, it's not possible. And you have to be willing to do it badly, as Dusty Porter from the YouTube Creators Hub podcast has said on multiple occasions. You have to be able to do it badly because your first 100 videos or your first 200 videos are gonna be crap. And you don't have to worry about quality, you have to worry about quantity. Say for the first 100 videos, you're not gonna focus on making it perfect or making the audio the best there is, or the camera quality, or the angle, or the lighting, or whatever. You just have to put them out consistently, and then after 100 videos, you can start worrying about quality. You just have to start. When it comes to an essay or a video or anything you're working on, it's way better to work on something that's already there than to have to fabricate something from scratch and make it perfect before you even start. So to make something perfect, you just have to start. It's better to work on something that's already out there that's really bad or that might be bad than to be kind of insidiously productive and just plan and plan and plan and never do anything because you know it'll never be perfect. Well, guess what? It's never gonna be perfect. And when you think it's perfect, it's not gonna be perfect. And when you think it's not perfect, it might turn out really well. I put out videos that have been like, oh my god, am I really putting that out there? And they've done really well. And then I've had videos that have been like, oh my god, this is my best video yet. It's gonna be the best. I'm gonna go viral. And they don't, right? And they do quite badly actually compared to my other videos. So perfection is the enemy of good. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good. Something else that I've encountered is the asking or waiting for permission from anybody. If you're gonna talk about tech, you don't need permission from the companies. If you're gonna talk about the IB, you don't need permission from the IB. If you're gonna vlog, you don't need permission from anybody. You don't need permission to start. And it's also this form of insidious productivity where you ask a YouTuber you know, or you email a YouTuber that's never gonna answer, or you Google the best cameras, or you Google the best laptops, or the best editing software. And this is all kind of insidious productivity where by doing something, you're not really doing anything, and you're just waiting for permission from yourself because you think you're not good enough. You're never gonna be good enough. You just have to put out that first video, and then the second one, and just keep it going. But yeah, you don't need permission from anybody to start, and you shouldn't seek it, because that's just another way of procrastinating. Something else that we've all grappled with is the spotlight effect, and how we have to avoid the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect makes us think that everything we do is more salient to others than it really is. In reality, nobody cares. Nobody's gonna think twice if you start a vlogging channel, or a knitting channel, or a cooking channel, or a gaming channel. People don't focus that much on us, we just think they do. So actually questions like, what is everybody gonna think? What if somebody sees it? What are my friends gonna say? Those questions are really purposeless because nobody's gonna care. And that can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. But it's the truth, nobody's really gonna care. Ask yourself, would I care if my friend, coworker, classmate, teacher, anybody started a YouTube channel about anything? Not really, right? At least I hope not. So why would anybody care if you do it? They won't. So just do it. The last one is not knowing where to start. You've decided you're gonna start, and then you're like, oh my god, where do I start? Should I start with a video, with an introduction? Where should I start? That's a really big question that I think all of us faced. And it doesn't really matter, just start. We all start differently. I started with a 3-minute introductory video. Sergio and Ragazze Qualsiasi started with straight off with content. And Yasemin started with content as well, and then slightly deviated from that, or changed her content. But the one thing we have in common is that even if we started differently, we all started. So what are you waiting for? Just start. Right, so you've started. Congratulations. But there are still problems that you're gonna face that you don't expect after you've started. The first one, Sergio told me, is that you start taking posting videos consistently as work, or you start taking it too seriously. If you're our age, odds are that it's not your main job or it's not helping your company or anything. You're doing it because you enjoy it. And if you want to keep enjoying it, you shouldn't treat it as work. The moment you start treating it as work or like it's work, you've lost. Why? Because if it feels like a chore, you're not going to want to do it. If it's fun and if you enjoy editing or filming or thinking about the thumbnails or scripting the video or anything, then you're gonna do it because it's fun. But as soon as it's something you have to do, you're gonna stop doing it. And that's not the point. The point is that you enjoy the process. And it's totally fine to put out your first 2 videos and say, actually, I don't want to do YouTube. I'm gonna start a vlog or something. It's experimenting and that's fine. Don't take it too seriously. Take it easy, be chill about it. Take a break if you need to, right? Prioritize what you're gonna do and chill out. I think one of the biggest reasons why we get discouraged or why we stop is because we're not meeting expectations we've set ourselves, or even we're not meeting expectations that we don't even know we have. I think there's 2 types of expectations, external ones and internal ones. External ones refers to things like, well, it's the reason why I waited 6 weeks or 6 videos to start posting publicly on Twitter and on Instagram that I was starting to make YouTube videos, because I wanted to see if I was consistent and if it was something that I enjoyed and I wanted to do. And once I was sure of that, I was willing to subject myself to the expectations of my peers and people that I actually know and say, okay, Emiliano's uploading a video every week and I've now got to meet that expectations. But honestly, I think the second form of expectations is way more difficult to deal with. And expectations we set ourselves for ourselves. So realistically, what should your own expectations be on your channel's growth? Now, according to this tweet, these are the average times it takes for a channel to reach a certain amount of subscribers. So from 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers, it's 151 videos. That's 3 years if you're posting once a week. From 10,000 to 100,000, it's 418 videos. That's 8 years if you're posting once a week. Then from 1,000 to 1 million, that's 1,171 videos, or 22 years if you're posting once a week. And more than 1 million subscribers, it's 3,873 videos. That's 74 years if you're posting 1 video a week. So those are averages. For example, Yasmin has right now 13.3k subscribers and she only has 45 videos. But most of us aren't gonna rock or go viral or rocket into like stardom or whatever. And you can't start YouTube or you can't start putting content online thinking you're gonna be the next MKBHD or PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or whatever. I mean, you might, but that can't be your mindset coming in, or you're gonna get discouraged faster than you can say subscribe. So something that Sergio said that I really resonated with was that when I was starting, or when he was starting, we didn't know how much time it was gonna entail. Time and work. It's so much work. It's not just filming and hitting the upload button. It really isn't. There is so much work underneath everything. According to me, and my experience, this is more or less what goes into each video. 70% of my time and effort is going into editing. It takes so much time, you have no idea. Plus, it's the thing that requires the most skill and equipment, even at a basic level. So you need a computer or an iPad and you need to know more or less what you're doing. Then coming up with ideas is around 15% because it's harder than you think. Like once you sit down and you've had like 15 epiphanies, that's 15 videos, that's fine. And then what, right? You have to be consistently coming up with ideas and more or less finding ideas that you can kind of steal or make your own. 10% is filming. Just 10% is filming because filming is relatively easy once you've gotten some practice in it. Of course, you're gonna have to do it multiple times. My first 3-minute video, I had like 45 minutes worth of footage that was useless. I've gotten way better. I'm usually doing 1 or 2 retakes per clip, but my videos end up chopped up in like 100 pieces. So it definitely takes some work in the editing process, but filming is fine. And then polishing, which is thumbnails, titles, and descriptions, is around 5%. It takes time and it takes more effort than you'd think. So be sure to hit that like button because I really appreciate it and it really validates all the work that I'm putting in. Something else that Sergio said was that it's hard to worry about the numbers all the time. And I agree. I'm addicted to refreshing the YouTube Studio app. It's really toxic. Even on days that I haven't uploaded, I'm still constantly kind of checking to see, oh, how many people have watched my video. I have to constantly remind myself, okay, I've just uploaded a video, but this might be your worst yet. It's only been 4 hours. Of course nobody's watched it. It's fine. So we have to remember that you're doing this because it's fun, not because it's a task, not because you want to get a certain number of views or subscribers or anything. This is fun and you enjoy doing this. We enjoy doing this. And you have to enjoy doing this. Even if your video has gotten two views in the last 2 days, that's fine because you enjoyed making it. You should be enjoying making it more than you're enjoying somebody else watching it. Now, coming back a bit to expectations, this is also a reason why I didn't tell people or tell my friends or tell people I knew on social media that I was starting a YouTube channel, because there's gonna be some hype around it and people are gonna watch your videos. So I didn't want my first 2 or 3 videos to have 600 views or 400 views, and then my following videos to be 20 views, 30 views, 20 views, 30 views, etc. Because as a beginner, you think, oh my god, my first 2 videos have been amazing, and then your next 5 videos are gonna be not so amazing, but in reality, the not so amazing part is the normal part. And I didn't want to get disheartened that way. And actually, when I think about it, my first video on the 22nd of October, nobody watched it for the first week, which was completely fine. I gained, I think, 1 subscriber, which was for my brother. And then on the second week, I uploaded another video, this one, and I just kept going. And I wasn't getting 76 views in my first videos. I was getting 2, 3, 10, 2. So just manage your expectations and don't worry about the numbers, really. I know I just said don't worry about the numbers. But another problem is understanding the analytics, because it can be hard. Like, for example, if you look at my YouTube studio, my CTR is really low. It's 0.7% for this video in particular, but it's also 1.8% I think in general, or maybe less. And the average on YouTube is from 2 to 10. So I understand the analytic, the number, but I didn't know how to fix it. And that's the problem, that I don't know how to fix it. And if somebody can tell me, that'd be great. It can be hard to understand something but not really know how to change it, and that's something that I'm still grappling with at the moment. So finally is the recipe for success on YouTube. Now I'm working on a whole other video just about this, but there's two main ways to be successful on YouTube. The first one, and maybe the easiest and fastest one, is to define success so narrowly that you're the only one in your field and therefore you're successful. And on a more doable, or at least more practical note, the recipe for success on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I've heard from other big YouTubers, is the formula of consistency plus patience plus luck. And I'm working on a whole other video about this, so do subscribe. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out my friends' channels in the description. I'm sure it will make all of us very happy and you would be helping them out a lot. Cheers.